What do you reckon?
I think this is going to be a wicked fight.
Yeah.
Before anything. I'm a big fan of Cheeto. Really big fan. I just don't think he's not really. He's like that Andrade Philly kind of thing. He's not really been able to string major wins together. He's had good wins, but it's always been like 2 wins, a loss, 2 wins, a loss. But then even when he has lost, I don't think he's not lost. He was never been finished.
No.
So I don't see him. I see like he's a bit of like a dark horse in the division for me.
Yeah.
Cheeto.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I think I said this in the war room that we recorded yesterday. I think the question around this one being a 5-round fight, I don't think that's it's not a question for Rob Font, because we've seen him go 1-on-1 in his last 2 over 5 rounds against tough individuals. But I've never felt like in one of Cheeto's fights, I'm thinking to myself in the 3rd round, oh shit, he looks tired. There's never a point when I think to myself that fatigue is going to start to work against him. He always looks like he's raring to go. And the times when he has lost, he's lost over decisions, over 3 rounds. And I've always felt to myself, if this had 2 more rounds, I feel like Cheeto's going to do some damage here. Like against Song Yudong, against Jose Aldo, he held his own. He had good moments. Lineker and Andrade before he moved weight class. Did he move weight class? Yeah, like I feel like this one makes a lot of sense for him to kind of introduce him to that top tier. Stopping Frankie Edgar with that front kick was very impressive. Even though Frankie's not he's not exactly the fighter that he was for sure. But Cheeto's definitely turned the corner. I definitely think he's ready for these top fights. And I think the Jose Aldo loss was a bit of an eye-opener for him. I really, really find it difficult to pick this one.
Yeah.
I really do.
So I'm a big fan of both guys. Like, I love Rob Font. But I'm pretty sold on Cheeto, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe because I'm a big fan of his as well, but I just think his style, like you said, I don't think conditioning is going to be an issue for him, because he doesn't have a style where it's he's got a style that he can easily manage, and I think adding 2 more rounds to what he already does wouldn't be much of a distance. I think it will suit him. I think the extra 2 rounds will suit him, because he does tend to. I mean, he likes to be aggressive, but he does leave himself vulnerable a bit. But then his staying power, I think, is one thing that sets him aside. And in the bantamweight division, you kind of need 5 rounds to sometimes set these guys apart. Like Aldo over 3 rounds and Aldo over 5 rounds is a very different thing. Like Aldo genuinely, he fights 4 of 5 rounds in almost all of his title defenses as a featherweight. And you can see the round that he takes off. It's like there's one round where he's just like, yeah, I'll just defend this round. I'll just do the bare minimum to get through into the next one. And over 5 rounds, I feel like Cheeto might have caused Aldo a lot more problems. I really do. I mean, they're really evenly matched, aren't they, as far as height and reach and everything? So 19-5 for Rob Font, 18-7-1 for Marlon Vera. Very similar average fight time, but of course that's pushed up slightly because Rob Font's just had 2 5-rounders. So you're looking at probably around the 11-minute mark for both. Both 5'8", 1 inch reach advantage to Rob Font. Cheeto's 5 years younger, but similar amount of knockouts, slightly more for Rob Font, more submissions for Cheeto, but not something that I think is going to cause Rob Font too many problems. I think unless Rob Font gets hurt, I don't think he's going to have to deal too much with the ground game of Cheeto, because I feel like Rob Font's wrestling's enough to keep this in a striking range. So what I expect is this to be a kickboxing match where we see either Rob Font trying to wrestle and then backing out because he's getting tangled up in shit that he don't want to deal with, or we see Cheeto trying to shoot and can't quite get there. He might even try some wild things like climbing up his back or whatever, flying triangles. I can see all that kind of stuff. And I always underestimate Rob Font's kicking ability, because in my head when I picture him, he's like a heavy front foot boxer. Yeah.
But then, like a lot of the kicks that Cheeto uses, like that front kick that he used on Frankie Edgar, like Rob Font's used that in his career. Like skip knees as well. They both use that quite regularly as well. I think this one could be a fight of the year contender. I really do.
Same. I can see it being quite similar to. So I watched the Song Yudong Marlon Vera fight, and I that was such a close fight. I was even a bit because I was watching it not with my full attention, but I was and every time I was looking at the fight, Cheeto seemed to be the one.
Yeah,
I think the first round maybe Song, but it was a weird decision. I thought, and I think Marlon probably could have won that. And I can just see it because he was really strong in the clinch as well. Like elbows, knees, and I feel like if they do clinch up, I mean, Rob does throw elbows and stuff on the break, but I feel like Marlon's just a little bit more aggressive in that kind of close range.
Yeah,
and I feel like he could hurt him there, and then just like separate and pick him off, like front kicks, and he's got a wicked left hook and left uppercut as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they're both in a good position to have this fight as well, because Cheeto's on a 2-fight win streak. He's just stopped Frankie, and he's coming in against someone in Rob Font. So what's Rob ranked number 8, and I think Cheeto's at Rob's at number 5 and Cheeto's at number 8. I think, unless they've changed since the last time I looked.
Marlon's 8. Font's 5.
Yeah, so this is the opportunity that Cheeto's been wanting to get himself into that top 5 of the division, and Aldo was almost that opportunity, and he almost had it, and he didn't. This is his opportunity. So I think that brings him into the octagon with a lot of intensity and a lot of determination. And Rob Font's coming off a decision loss over 5 rounds, in which case I think he's going to be like, "No way, motherfucker, you're not taking my spot in the top 5." And I think both of them are primed to have a real scrap. Yeah. I think both of them are going to get hurt. I think we're going to see some good scrambles. I think we're going to see sub attacks, and Cheeto's going to keep this pace moving. I think Rob would slow it down if he could, but I think Cheeto, like you said, just keeps that consistent. It's like a 4th gear, and it's like, this is just the pace we're going at. And if you don't want to fight, I'm going to keep fighting you anyway. Yeah. Let me have a look at their stats. Where are their stats at?
It's like his energy seems to be more focused on his striking. So he'll use much more energy and throw in a really accurate, powerful strike. And he's not using it so much in terms of his movement, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So 69% takedown defense for Cheeto, 55% takedown defense for Rob Font. But I don't know, I feel like he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns of Cheeto. I feel like his wrestling's a little bit stronger. Strikes absorbed per minute, Cheeto's a bit higher, 4.27, and Rob Font's striking defense is better at 59%. But Rob Font's got much better head movement, I would say. Like if you watch him against Thomas Almeida, like there's a combination that Almeida throws, and Font's like slip, roll, move away. You don't see that kind of movement from Vera because he's a bit too aggressive with it. He's a bit too push forward. Horrible fight to call, really it is. Kind of feel like Cheeto's going to do it.
Yeah, I got Cheeto.
How are you thinking? What decision, or do you reckon he's going to catch him?
I think there's a good chance of it going 5 rounds. I think it's just going to be a war, to be honest, like a 5-round war. And I think Cheeto's going to hurt Rob a lot more than Rob's going to hurt Cheeto.
Yeah. I think we're going to get 2-3 rounds where they're back and forth and it's quite even, and then maybe going into the 4th round, I think Cheeto's going to skip knee him, catch him under the chin, and then jump on his back and sink a rear naked choke in.
Sick.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah.
I'll be watching this one live.
For sure.